Hello, David.
Hello.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
I know that you are terribly busy nowadays.
Oh, they've decided it's election year again. Speaking to you today, it's only about 7 weeks away, so we've got to work hard.
Yeah. We feel that violent crimes goes up continuously. ACT Party released a sentencing policy on the 10th August. Could you explain it to me briefly?
Yep. When a person commits a crime and they are guilty, the judge has to give them a sentence, either home detention or jail, or perhaps be let off completely. The ACT Party says that criminals have been committing very bad crimes, really bad, hurting people, hurting their property, and they do not get really tough sentences. We think the reason why criminals get such small sentences for such large crimes is that the law, called the Sentencing Act 2002, does not require the judges to think hard enough about the victim, does not require the judges to think hard enough about community safety. There's too much attention on the criminal, thinking about them and how they feel and their life. Well, I think we should be mindful of people's circumstances, even if they're a criminal. But the victim and public safety should come first. So we would change the Sentencing Act so that when someone's convicted and the judge is giving them a sentence or a punishment, the judge has to think more about the victim and the public safety and less about the offender.
And we need more crime bad.
Well, there's more and more crime.
Yeah.
The Ministry of Justice, the government's own statistics, tell us people are a victim of a crime more often. People don't feel safe running a business. People don't feel safe walking on the streets in some places now. People worry about crime all the time. And we have to start giving victims criminals need tougher consequences. Victims should get more rights.
The rise in crime rates around the world may be due to the economic instability caused by COVID-19 or climate change. What do you think about that?
Well, Michael Hill Jeweller is a very successful businessman.
Yeah.
He has jewellery stores in New Zealand, in Australia, and in Canada. In 1 year, he had 44 robberies in his New Zealand stores, 1 robbery in 1 Australian store, and 1 robbery in 1 Canadian store. And he's got more stores over there than here, because they're bigger countries. So I just point out that Michael Hill is a good example of somebody who's running the same business in 3 different countries. The crime is worse here. They had COVID, they have climate change, they have all of these things. What's different is that in New Zealand we have a government that is far too concerned about the rights of the criminals and does not think about the rights of the victims.
Okay. And I think the relationship between Australia and the US is very important for New Zealand national security. Do you have any special ideas regarding the partnership matter?
Yeah, I think that New Zealand needs to be realistic about defence. We must make sure that we have a military and a diplomatic effort so that we have good relationships with other democratic countries who share our values, and we are prepared to defend our democratic values against others who do not share them. That is crucial and critical.
I heard that the ACT Party will help New Zealand become a 100% renewable energy country. Is it available?
No, I don't think 100% renewable is a good goal.
Near 100%.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think that the job of government is to run the emissions trading scheme so that if people want to emit carbon dioxide that contributes to climate change, then they must ensure that they must ensure that they are, how do you put this, paying for their emissions trading scheme tax. But do we get to 100%, 99%, 95%? Those are just secondary goals. What's really important is having the right amount of emissions. Or sorry, having a reduction in emissions, not getting to some arbitrary goal.
Many Kiwis are going out after studying in New Zealand for a better working environment. I think it's a kind of a brain drain.
We have to make it more attractive to stay in New Zealand. So we need to get tough on crime. We need to stop the government taxing and spending so much money and wasting it so people can keep more of their own money. We need less inflation. We need less regulation so that people can produce more and keep more. At the moment, people are working hard, but they don't get to keep as much of their money as they would like. So we cut taxes, keep more of your money, less government waste, less inflation. That makes it more attractive to stay here. Then you've got to make it easier to build a house. If it's too hard to build a house, not many houses get built, the price goes up, it costs too much to live here. Then we've got to lock up the criminals. You go out on the street, it's not safe, people don't want to stay here. We've got to make it safe. We've got to make it affordable. And one other thing we've got to do is we've got to stop this interpretation of the Treaty of Waitangi that says there's Maori and there's everyone else. We're all New Zealanders. We all have the same rights and duties, and that's what we've got to celebrate.
And what do you think about the immigration policy at the moment?
Well, immigration has been made too complicated. The government doesn't know what it thinks about immigration. It said it wanted to stop immigration down to 30,000 people a year. It didn't do that. Then COVID came along and it closed the border. We got down to 0 for 2 years. No one planned that. Now they've sort of let people come back and immigrate again, but not really. So we've got to do much, much better with immigration. We should accept that New Zealand needs people to immigrate to bring their skills so businesses can be built. We should then ensure that we have simple laws and processes, and then we should make sure that the Ministry of the Immigration Department processes people's applications rapidly.
The relationship between New Zealand and Korea, Japan, and other Asian countries has been very good for a long time. Any suggestions for a better future?
Look, I think, as you say, it's going well. I don't think we need it to change anything. We need to recognise that democracies are valuable to each other. We've got to recognise that trade is good. The CPTPP is a wonderful thing. And we've got to recognise that New Zealand and Korea need each other. For people, for trade, for investment, all going backwards and forwards. That's all really, really important.
And New Zealand is a representative multicultural society
yes.
in the world. For the more harmonious society, what do you think is the best policy?
Well, it's going back to universal human rights. Each person deserves the same rights and duties, the same dignity for being human. We've got to stop treating people differently based on their ancestry.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.